So, have you ever really wondered, LadyTribe, can you really build a massive business all while wearing your fabulous bathrobe? Well, I have a special guest here this morning that did exactly that. And she's not only going to come join us, but she's going to share some of her inside ninja tips, secrets on how to do it. So she took her bathrobe and her cell phone and turned it into a $1 million business. She's just celebrating her $1 million income earner status, and I'll let her tell you about that, but I'm so excited. So let's give a huge warm welcome to Miss Amy Murphy. I'm going to bring her on the screen right now. So make sure that you share the broadcast with those who have ever struggled in network marketing. This is definitely for them. So look who we have, Miss Amy Murphy, and I'm so excited to bring you on here this morning. So you guys, Amy is brand new on my page, and I just met Amy like less than a month ago at an event, and she was speaking up on stage, and I was like, I gotta interview this gal because she has an amazing story. Number one, you're a rock star boss babe lady, and here we are on the LadyTribe page, so this is all we do. And I loved what you did, that everything was from your cell phone and the spontaneity of like, just do it, creating that muck it up. I'm just going to go muck it up. I'm just going to create a big old mess of things. When you shared on your, when you were on stage, like I would be working out and then I would go live. I would just have this idea and then I would just go live. I'd be in the shower and like poke my head out of the curtain and go live. I had like all these different things, right? And I love that because so many times we hold ourselves back from creating the action. Like I got to be perfect and I got to do this, this, and this. So I'm going to let you share a little bit about you. So introduce yourself, say hey, and you guys make sure you hit that share button bottom left corner and invite some other ladies that have ever struggled in network marketing, because Amy's story is for them.
Hi. First of all, I have to make a disclaimer. My voice might sound a little raspy because we just had our company convention on the weekend. And if you guys ever have gone to your company conventions, you know the energy's insane. You don't sleep. You're always cheering your teams on, cheering for everybody, screaming and laughing and going on. So my voice might be a little raspy, so I apologize off the top for that. But guess what? You do it anyway. No excuses. You do it anyway.
That's right. I love it. I know everybody's saying good morning, go muck it up. And you are up in Canada, right?
I am a Canadian. Woo!
So you guys, let us know where you're tuning in from as you're logging in there down in the comments. What part of the world are you coming in from? And would love to know what part of the world are we reaching from here this morning. Okay, so give us a quick, like from beginning to start, and then we're going to break it down a little bit. And I was trying to quote it, and I think 16, like how many companies were you a part of in network marketing, and stop, start before you actually hit a home run?
Yeah, so I think the lucky number is 10, and this was my 11th. So pretty much I started network marketing when I was 19 years old. Wonderful company that's still around to this day. You know, that was my very first introduction to it. I was in it for a couple months, didn't really see a lot of results, so I quit. Tried another one, didn't see a lot of results, quit. Tried another one. So literally over the course of 17 years and everything else in my life, like I do come from a background in hair, makeup, and nails. I went to beauty school. I have a background in acting and modeling, so I've always been doing those things. So my whole life, network marketing has always been poked in there. Like I've always tried to make it fit in whatever I did because I knew network marketing worked. I just didn't know how to work it. And, you know, I just like.
You can relate to this one, ladies. I knew it worked. I saw everybody else having success. I just didn't know if I could make it work. Right? Who could relate to that one?
Right. So I believed that there was something there because these girls would have cars, they would have these trips, they would have these things, and I never had them. And I always knew I could. So I always thought it was the company. So I would jump to another company. I would jump to another company. I would jump to another company. Guess what I figured out? Well, one, I'm not going to lie. I love my company. Just going to say, I need to make that disclaimer. My company is awesome. But it really was me. It wasn't you, it was me. It's not all about you, it's all about me this time. You know, in network marketing, it's all about you, boo, right? It's not about me, it's about you. Well, this time it was all about me. I was ready. I finally connected to, why do I want to do this anyway? Before, it was always about, I just want to make money. I just want to join, sell some makeup, sell some candles, sell some whatever. I just want to make some money, and I'm going to sell that to you, and I'm going to make money. And if I don't make money, it's almost like an employee mentality, right? Yep. It's like a job. It's like, I don't make money, I'm just going to quit. Oh, I didn't do well at that job, I'm going to get another job. That's where my mind was at. But this time, my mind was, okay, this is a business. I'm going to learn how to run my business. Like, I'm going to learn everything I can do, and I'm going to follow people that have had success. Truly look at the people that are succeeding and figure out how this is working. So I sat there and I started Googling network marketing, and I found Ray Higdon. And he was the first person that I started emulating. And I started teaching my team his trainings. And I used to pretend it was all coming from me, like I'm so smart. Right. And so my team would be like, that's brilliant. Amy's so good. Oh my God. You know, like I would learn, teach, you know, how you learn and you teach.
Like, teach. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah. So I was doing that, not realizing that's a thing, but I was doing it without giving credibility to Ray. Right. So I was teaching others, and I started learning how to teach others. And I started quickly learning it's about others. When I help them, that helps me. When I help others, that helps me, instead of just trying to help myself. So it was like everything started clicking more so within myself and my desire level, why I wanted it. For one, my husband tried to tell me that no one would believe me this time. It's like the 11th time, what's Amy selling now? No one was going to believe me. I wouldn't have any credibility. Good luck with that. You've done this a million times before. Like, no support in the beginning. He was like, good luck with that. That kind of fueled me to go, okay, it's on.
I had a similar thing. So when I started doing live video, I did a video challenge. And I told my husband, I was like, hey, I'm going to do this like video challenge thing. I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. I know that social media is kind of like a thing, right? And I'm going to make it my thing. And he's like, whatever, you know, how much does it cost? No, nothing, baby, nothing. Go do whatever you need to go do. Like, go do your thing. Okay. And it was that self-doubt from other people that fueled me to let me show you how I can do this. And there was plenty of times, right? And I know you shared your story that like, you know, this isn't working. That's going to be like everything else. You know, day 20 of the video challenge, it's midnight, you know, 11:59 at night. I'm like, I got to get my video in for the day to be able to count. And like, oh, you don't need to do it now. Do it later. And like, why are you spending so much time doing this and not making any money? Right? Like all those things that we hear from people. I know you've probably heard the same thing.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, my husband, I remember he didn't understand what I was building at first. I saw the vision for what I was doing, like with our company and with everything. I knew what I was building because I truly believed this time around was going to be the time. I declared it. I said, if I don't do it this time, I'm not going to do it again. And he was like, oh yeah, right. He did not believe me, but I said, no, I'm for real this time. If I don't do it this time, I will be done because I'm finally learning how to do it and I'm going to do it. And I remember I'd be on my phone. He's like, what are you doing on your phone? I was like, I'm building something good. Trust me.
Right? Like, just let me do my thing. Let me focus. No,
yeah. I'm ignoring you, but I promise it'll be for the greater goods. I swear, you know. Like,
so talk to me, like, what was that changing point? Because we're all looking for that changing point, you know, of like up, down, up, down, up, down. And then what was that catalyst of like, okay, I'm just going to make this happen? Was it a life scenario? Was it I just had to make a decision? Was it the company? Was it like, what was that changing point for you?
The changing point for me, and it almost makes me want to cry, is because we found out we were pregnant with our third child unexpectedly. And we were not poor in any way. We were in this beautiful home. Like, our house is beautiful. We built our beautiful home, but we were like house poor. We built our home because we wanted a beautiful home for our children, but we couldn't afford the extras. And that was with the 2 children. So when I came home with the pregnancy test and showed Tim that we are having another child, it was like, we can't have another kid.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, no, there's no other kid. This is not happening. And so it was really, really hard because I know I'm having this kid. So he was like, we can't afford another kid. So it was a really hard mental and emotional time for us to cope with how we're going to afford this third kid. So we put our house up for sale. so we could move into our smaller city, like down where I grew up in a smaller town, and we were going to build a smaller house so that we could have more disposable income to give the kids what they need, like in terms of, you know, sports, activities, and things like that. So that was what we were going to do, because I was doing nails out of my home at the time. And I knew after this baby was born with 3 kids, I wasn't going to be going back to nails. There was no way.
Right. Yeah. Like now you're having a newborn, plus you got 2 other kids. Daycare is insane. Plus who knows the heck is like really happening over there. And yeah, like all those things. But, you know, how do I do something from home? But like, how do you create a successful income from home? Like truly do it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, you know, after the baby's born, Tim was just like, you go back to like we're going to go back to the 50s. You're going to raise the children and feed the children and the family. And I'm just going to go work more, which meant for us not seeing him at all, because he was a longshoreman, which if anyone knows what that is, they work on the boats, like when they come into the shore, and the big money nights would be evenings and weekends and holidays. So he would already work the big money nights, evening, weekends, and holidays. So him working more meant he'd be working days, evenings, weekends, holidays. So our future was going to be daddy's never home ever, and mommy's just going to stay home and raise these kids, and we're going to stay in this beautiful house, but there's going to be no extras. Like this is going to what our life look like. So I kind of had a little bit of a fuel in me to be like, I know I have more. I know I can help. And you know, acting gigs, modeling gigs, they're not reliable. They're not consistent. And so when I saw this opportunity, it was just perfect timing that, you know, the product I was looking for, I kind of needed, because I was looking for this particular thing at the time in my life, and I was open to it. So when I saw it, I was like, ooh. And then, you know, it just kind of went from there. I decided this is the one I'm going to try. And this timing is right for me. I'm ready. I'm going to do this. So that was the catalyst as to, because if that situation wasn't happening and I still joined it, it might have been the same result as the other times.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right. It might have just been, oh, I didn't make a lot of money. Okay, I'll quit again and try something else again. But I really had something driving me this time. It really was that situation that I did not want my husband to always be away. Like I really wanted to have him home evenings, weekends, and holidays, not working every time and making excuses to the kids and saying, you know, that's when daddy makes his money. You know, we just got to get used to that. You know, I didn't want that.
I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want that. And so this really drove me. It really, really drove me.
Yeah. And, you know, I can relate to that, because for 10 years, my husband and I have been together for 10 years. Next month will be 10-year anniversary. And so during that whole time, it was like, I didn't have to make anything happen, right? Because we had income. I didn't have to make something happen. And so I never did, right? Like I told myself like, oh, it would be nice to have a business, right? It was always that thought. It'd be nice to have this awesome $1 million business. It would be, you know, it would be nice if this just came together, but I never had to actually make anything happen. Like my feet were never held to the fire. And when it came to making that shift to moving on social media and starting a business there is, we had savings built up and that was depleting. And it was like, either we go get jobs or we go do something, or we I came up with this business like from nothing, out of zero. And cause I had to create something. Mm-hmm. And so it was that shift of I have to do something versus, oh, I'll start a business because it's convenient or because it sounds like a good idea. Maybe I want to make a little bit of money, you know, something like that. So I can totally relate to that. Mm-hmm. So you're a big believer in law of attraction, and I am too, right? Because I could hear like what you were saying on stage. I'm like, this girl's all about it. So talk to us a little bit about that too, because you had to visualize it, you had to believe it. And I remember you're saying that you would every single day, you had kind of like a routine, right? So walk us through that routine of how you brought your thoughts into existence.
Oh my gosh, I cannot stress to you how much manifesting and visualizing and believing, it truly is a game changer. If you're not finding success, are you actually seeing it happen? Like I saw myself at the top of my company. I saw myself every single rank going up. I saw it, and I didn't for a minute believe I wasn't getting it. I didn't say, oh, I'd like to do it maybe someday. oh, I can't get there. I said, hey, I looked at the top of the comp plan, and the day I joined, I said, okay, I know I want this level because I'll get founder if I get this level. And then that will be my 1-year plan because I have a year to do it. And then I looked at the top and I said, wow, that's big. I said, but that'll be my 5 to 10-year plan. I did it in a year and a half. When my original time frame was, I'm going to do that in 5 to 10 years. A year and a half it took me, because every day I saw myself. I said, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can do this.
This is where we insert like holy barnacles.
Yeah, holy
barnacles. Like, that's amazing, right? So
I did. I'll tell you my little secret. But I really truly embodied my thoughts and my beliefs, and I brought it in. There's so much more I believed in, but this is what I did. In the shower, when I had my time to myself, I would give thanks and gratitude to, it could be the universe if you're not religious. It could be your God if you're religious. I do believe in God, so I did thank God, and I did thank the universe. I thank both, because I wanted to cover my bases. So I thank
all the things.
I thank the universe for the powerful energy it is. And I thank God for being able to, have the strength, have the health, have everything I need, and for showing me the way, giving me the courage, giving me the strength, giving me what I need, and then open me up to what I need. And I would chant my next rant out loud in the shower. I would get on my knees, put my hands up in the air, and I remember going like, chanting my rank, and just being like, thank you for life. I would be on my knees in the air in my shower. No one was seeing me but me. My husband didn't know I did this, but I did this. And when I would drive my kids to preschool, I had my hands on the steering wheel. I breathed it in. I looked at the sun, and I would look at the sky, and I would say, thank you for this beautiful life. Thank you for my health. Thank you for the ranks you've brought me. Thank you for everything the people you brought into my life. I thank the universe, God, for everything. And then I would just chant my rank and be like, and while I'm chanting it, I was seeing it. I was seeing me on the stage. I was seeing my rank. I was feeling it as if I already got it. Like I wouldn't just wish it. I was actually embodying it like it actually was real. And I was like, it's this. Next month, it's this. And if it didn't happen next month, guess what? I didn't quit. I said, that's all right. That was building me up. It'll be next month. That's okay. Thank you for how far I got this month. Next month, boom, boom. And I didn't stop doing this. I know it may sound silly, but I'm telling you, I believed it so hard. Think about in your life, when you want something so bad, you literally can't stop thinking about it. You end up doing things to make it happen. And things in your world start coming to you and making it happen. And it's funny. I'm going to use a totally separate example, nothing to do with my company. But since I started working with my company, I backed off of doing acting and modeling a little bit. I still did pregnancy modeling. I still auditioned, but there was times I would turn things down because I was too busy working my business, and my agent was okay with that. But recently, I started telling my agent, I said, you know what? I really miss being on set. I miss driving to set. I would drive down the road and visual myself driving to set, going through hair and makeup, memorizing my lines, shooting, and being in my trailer. Like, I just was visualizing what I used to do and how much I loved it. Did I not get a call from my agent? I get an audition, and I booked it, and I was on set literally a week later. Like, are you kidding me? I wanted it, and I visualized it, right? I think oh, there you are. You're there. Okay. But it's something I was wanting. I visualized it, and it's like the world brought me an audition, nailed it, booked it, and I was on set. And of course I gave thanks. Always give thanks. When you get your wish, when you get what you're working for, make sure you give thanks. You need to give thanks. That's the most important thing. Grateful heart and appreciation gets you so much further than if you just want, and take.
All right, I'm gonna see if she can bring her on back. There we go. Let's see if I can message her really quick. You guys, okay, so if you're loving this, let me know. So she's gonna jump right back on here because I think we lost her for 1 second, but we're gonna be right on back. Okay, so you guys, here's the thing, is I love everything that she's talking about. Who can relate to this? Because there's so many times where it's like, I don't know if I can make this happen. We have this self-talk. And what Amy was talking about of bringing things into existence is, I believe 2 years ago when I started doing live video, I started reading a book called The Secret, all talking about the law of attraction. And I was like, I have no idea where this live video thing is going to take me. But I do know that I want to attract amazing women. I want to build an amazing community of ladies that are going to change the world. And this is all I told myself. That was my focus, right? And so it started coming into existence that all of this stuff started happening. Okay. It all started happening because I believed it was going to happen, and not for a second that I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. Nobody's going to like my message. Now, were there times like, can I do this, that I would ask myself? Yes. But I never stopped believing that I was going to attract the right people, right? And I was going to attract that end result to me. It was just a matter of time. And when I believed in that whole thought process of, it's just a matter of time before I get there, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And so focus on that end result. Yeah, love The Secret. Exactly right. Okay. So make sure that you share the broadcast. Okay. We're going to get Amy back on here. But you want to, another thing that Amy said when she was on stage was that every single day, believed it and gratitude. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Don't stop believing. But gratitude. And she talked about it here on the broadcast also, is gratitude is people like, so many times we're like, oh, I didn't hit that rank, so it's not going to happen. No, I'm grateful that I've come this far, and it's going to happen next month, and then putting massive action behind it. Okay. And here's the other thing too, that I know, right? Like, love the robes. So I told him, I was like, this is totally a broadcast where I can totally get away with wearing a robe, and it's like a part of the thing. I'm channeling my inner $1 million robe. Okay, so gratitude, right? And here's a great branding tip is, when I saw her speaking on stage, she said, no, everybody's going to go run out and buy their robe and think that that's my thing. Okay. And I had the same experience when building the LadyTribe and the Mermaid Cove, that I have a lot of people that's like, oh, I see this whole mermaid thing going on, and I see this whole like LadyTribe thing going on, and that's awesome. And I see this whole beach theme going on, and I love it. I want to duplicate that. Okay. And don't fall into that, well, I'm just going to go buy a robe and that's going to be my message, right? That's Amy's message. You got to find your own message, your own thing that gives you power. Now everybody knows her for the $1 million robe, right? And that's how I remember the $1 million robe, because she did everything from her bathrobe, from her phone, of just getting after it and believing that it's going to happen. Okay. And massive action, like not just, oh, I hope that this happens and I'm just going to chant in my shower and I hope that all this comes together. That when you start believing that things are going to happen, right, that doors start opening. But the key is you got to walk through them. You got to walk through the door. If you don't walk through the door, then you're not going to be able to take action on the opportunities that are opening up in front of you. You're not going to, if somebody asks you to do that dual live interview, if you have that awesome idea to go do that thing, right? I've had some amazing ideas over the last couple of weeks, and I'm putting them into action. I'm like, this idea is coming to me for a reason. I got to act on it. Because we always sit there and ask like, man, I wish I could come up with that awesome idea that would change my business. I wish that I could, have that innovative thing. I wish that I could create this amazing brand, da, 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 da. And you start having ideas come to you, but you don't think that that's actually what you're asking for, because maybe it's a little not how you expected it, right? Maybe it's not how you expected it. You're like, oh, that's not my thing. Oh, that's not my thing. It's like the world is serving you up like, hey, here's this awesome idea that you were just asking for. Here you go. And you're like, no, that's not my thing. And we kind of turn it down. Okay. So don't get into that process of like, I want this, but then you get this idea and you don't act on it. Okay. So make sure that we're putting action behind all the things. Yeah. This is exactly what we talked about, is we got to do the things. We got to put action behind things, go muck it up. Okay. And here's a fantastic message also from Amy. And I talked about it briefly at the beginning of the broadcast, is she doesn't have the professional studio. Like I have the home studio, I got the background, like I got the computer, I got the webcam, I got the lighting, I got the microphone, like I got all this stuff, right? You don't need any of this stuff. And that's not how I started either. Okay. Now over 2 years, I've polished and I've got this stuff over time, but I just started with my cell phone also. Okay, I started with my cell phone and that's it, and a tripod, like a $12 tripod. So that way I didn't have to go like this and hold my phone while I was, like for every single live video, because my arm was kind of getting tired over a little while. I'm like, okay, I got to come up with some sort of solution to this problem. So I had a tripod and I had a cell phone. Those are my tools, and that's it. And I love that. That's also Amy's message, is you don't need like all this stuff. Here she is, $1 million income earner in her company, and all from her cell phone and wearing a bathrobe. Okay, so you don't need the fancy things. You don't need all the stuff. You need massive action and believing that it's going to happen and put steps behind it. Okay, does this make sense? All right, you guys, fantastic. It was so fun having you this morning. I think Amy, she hasn't come back yet, so maybe we can arrange a part 2. Do we love it? So if you have a vote for a part 2, let me know if you're like, yes. So start chanting like Amy, Amy, Amy. And maybe we'll schedule a part 2 if we have a huge demand for it, okay? I did tag Amy in the description of this broadcast, so you can go click on her personal profile. Also, she told me she's rebranding and working on her Instagram and building that up. So I also tagged her Instagram account in the description of this broadcast as well. So Instagram.com, and then I put her username over there. So you should just be able to click the link and head over to her Instagram as well. Go follow her over there and make sure that you let her know where you found her. And, I think she maybe is back. Okay, hold on. We're back. Okay. It worked because they were all chanting your name. They popped back.
I was watching you guys that whole time, and I was chatting in the team chat, and nothing was happening. I felt like on a little planet, like, am I dreaming?
Like a little Hello.
No, I'm here. I'm here. It's like being in a coma, and you're alive in your body, but no one can hear you.
Well, they all chanted, and now I'm like, okay, if you want Amy back, start chanting Amy, and it worked.
If you dream it and you see it, you can achieve it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So this is awesome. We're all back. And we're having a party again.
We're back. So everything you were saying was exactly that. Like your vibe attracts your tribe.
Okay, good.
I heard everything. I saw it all. I was
good,
watching.
I didn't say anything bad. I didn't run away with the show, so that's good.
Yeah, I know. But literally your vibe attracts your tribe, and what you put out there is what you're gonna bring in. So if you're putting a positive energy, you're gonna bring that. And for me, when I was building my business, this was legit me. The bathrobe shtick, I can't tell you how many times my husband's friends would say to him, is that like, does Amy do that for attention? And I'm like, no, I have a message to share, and I got a newborn on my titty, and I cannot get dressed in a day. If I wait until this baby sleeps, which she never slept, and if I wait until she finished 8, which she never did, she was always on my boob, I would never have gotten anywhere in my business. But I was the ultimate hashtag, no excuses. I got a message to share, and I'm sharing it. If you go through my old Facebook, I don't know if they limit posts or take off like any old videos, but if you see my old videos, you will see me the hottest mess on earth. I just got laser surgery because it was a little treat I've been watching for 10 years. So my old videos, I have my big glasses on, my hair's up to here, I have my bathrobe, and I think I probably have showed Facebook my nipples a million times because I legit would be talking and then the baby would fuss and I would stick her on my boob and I would keep on talking. And I remember one time I was doing a video up in the playroom and I would nurse her laying down and I was doing a message, talking, and she was nursing. And then all of a sudden she had popped off and fell asleep and my boob was sticking straight out. And I was just kept on going because I couldn't see through the comments what was below, but that was where my nipple was. It was hid by all the comments. And I'm chatting. And then all of a sudden I get like my inbox is going ding, 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 ding. I'm like, what's happening here? So my friend's cousin was like, Amy might want to know. She's doing a live video. So don't take that as flash Facebook to get sales, just saying. That was just how much of a hot mess I was. I deleted that video, so don't go try and find it. The point is that I would be in the shower, and the only time I could think with a newborn and 2 kids was in the shower, and that all of a sudden the creative juices would fly, and I would literally take my phone in the shower with me and be like, okay, guys, I had a message. I don't have time because as soon as I get out of this shower, my kids are going to be on me, but I had this thought. Boom. And I would share my thought. And then, or I'd get out of the shower and do little tutorials, like in my robe, looking like a hot mess. I would be sitting here, an idea would spark me if like, say the kids were napping, some quiet moment, it would spark me. And I was like, I gotta go live now. Because if I waited to go get pretty, the idea would leave my head because mom brain, you can't remember anything for one. The thought would be completely gone. The emotions and everything would be completely out of it. And so I literally just shared. I took a chance on that. Some people may have thought I was annoying, weird, hot mess. Who's this chick? Bye. Those are whatever. I was attracting my tribe. Lots of moms were like, oh my gosh, this girl's in her robe. If you can do it, I can do it. I could have, when I found the opportunity for me this time around, I was 5 months pregnant. I could have said, I'm going to start my business after the baby's born. I'll start my business later. Instead, I was like, I didn't even think twice that I was pregnant. It didn't even faze me that I was pregnant, to be honest. And I remember one of my girls was ranking, and I was in the birthing room, legit with the phone and me going, awesome, like I'm pushing the baby out while I'm like working. Like, because I was like, no excuses. I got to cheer you on, girl. Like she was like doing her thing. I'm like, yeah, it was and no excuses, you guys. And I have no filter and I tend to squirrel. So hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Okay. And here's the thing, you guys, funny is money. Okay. So funny is money, relatable is money. And if you can be funny and if you can relate to people, that equals money and it equals success in your business because everybody wants to laugh. And if you can make people laugh, they're going to be not intimidated, right? You're not going to come across as this expert guru of like, I know all the things, so listen to me. And you have to do everything I say, right? Like nobody wants to be around that person. Everybody's like, hey, guess what? I did a live video and I have my boob hanging out. And like, it happens.
Real life. People like hashtag real life. It's real life. I just did a speech at my company convention in front of like the high level leaders. And I had to stay, like I wrote the speech, so I had to stay by the script. Just corporate wanted me to stay scripted with what I wrote.
Don't go off kilter talking about boobs and nipples.
Right? But before I started it, I went on stage and I gave them a moment of myself. I wanted to be like, I know I'm going to go into the script and it's not going to be the true Amy. So I'm going to give them a little intro and I'm going to talk to them before I go into my speech and just be me. And everybody told me that was their most favorite part of the whole entire speech because guess what happened? When I was doing my speech, literally out of nowhere, I get a tickle in my throat. I'm like, oh man, I started trying to like talk a little quicker to make it go away, to itch it. And so I stopped. I was like, hashtag real life. I need a drink of water. Just give me a second. I was like, Tim, bring me a drink. So he comes up, brings me water. 2 seconds later, I'm going to put the water back down on the pedestal. Does my heel not go into the groove of the stage? And I like almost like knock myself right over going into the podium. And I'm just like, hashtag real life, duplicatable. If I can do it, you can do it. It was just, everyone was losing their shit. And I'm just like, that's how I did it. When I approached Facebook and Facebook Lives, the more real, the better. And it doesn't always have to be talking about your product and stuff. It's just you being you, like let people in. That's what they want to see. And that's why I tell people, don't necessarily, because I did the bathrobe thing, like if you legit are in your bathrobe, rock your bathrobe, girl, rock it. But if that's not you, then don't do it because people will be like, why is she doing that? Like,
right, exactly. And that's the point is like so many times, when somebody finally finds their thing, right? Like for 10 years, I was trying to find my thing. And like my brand and like, who the heck am I? Where am I going? And I finally figured out in the last 2 years. And when you find your thing, everybody's going to be attracted to that because they're also looking for their thing. And they're thinking that your thing is their thing. And so don't fall into that, ladies, because I started doing that too. I started thinking that like I had to be this boss babe, like looking like wear my Louis Vuitton shoes and my Louis Vuitton bag and like this pencil skirt and like all that stuff in order to be on like this Facebook personality person. And I'm like, after a couple months and doing this and thinking I had to have all this perfect stuff. And I told my husband, I was like, baby, we need to go shopping because I don't have any of the clothes that I need to be on Facebook to create this brand that I need. And then I realized like I had this huge moment of why the heck am I going for shopping for clothes that I don't even wear for a brand that I'm just creating out of nothing? Like, this doesn't make sense. This is not me.
1,000%. I totally agree with you. And you know what? I didn't know that I was creating a brand until it was already done. Like I didn't sit there and say, this is my brand. I'm going to be in my bathrobe and I'm going to do this. And this is how I'm going to do it. I literally my brand started unfolding for me by me living authentically, me living my life and showing people into my life and not trying to be anything but me. And some days I wasn't in my bathrobe, but my hair wasn't done. My makeup wasn't done. I was not always put together. I looked like a hot mess all the time. But I had the kids running around and people saw that and they understood and they connected. And it was like, you know, the hot mess mama train, you know, is coming through Facebook Live today. And just, it started building itself, but it did it because I started being true to me. And you know what's really funny? After I became, you know, a top level income earner and I started getting where I got in the company, I had kind of higher levels kind of put the little bug in my ear, like, you should get out of your bathrobe, you know? And I'm like, but why? You know, well, because, you know, image and, you know, people were worried about, you know, image and like, you know, company, like aligning and this and that. I was like, okay, so guess what? For a hot minute, I actually got out of my bathrobe and people were like, where's the bathrobe? Mimi's out of her bathrobe. People freaked out for one, but I found that I started to not know who I was. I was like, okay, like I was trying to get done up and look pretty. And I'm like, okay, great. But there was nothing behind it. There was literally, here's Amy looking pretty and I have things to share, but people weren't really connecting with it. It wasn't connecting. And like, as soon as I went back out of my bathrobe, into my bathrobe and just me being back to Hot Mess Express, like when I got back on the Hot Mess Express train, just living authentically and not trying to put on what I wasn't really truly every day, that is literally, it started skyrocketing once again. And like I said, note to self, don't be a hot mess because you think you need it to succeed. Do it if it's authentic to you. If you're a hot mess girl, I love you and celebrate the hot mess and you go be a hot mess and attract other hot messes.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's the hardest thing is like, yeah, go like, what is my thing? And people automatically think like, oh, well, that's my thing over here. And like ladies, we have a hard time identifying who the heck are we? And like I said, I struggled with that for 10 years. My husband asked me like, what are you passionate about? I'd be like, I don't know. And I would get so frustrated. And, you know, everybody would ask me like, so what do you do? I'm like, I don't really know. I just kind of do whatever. And I don't really have like, I don't even know who the heck I am. So understand that when you're creating your thing, you don't actually realize that it's your thing until you're into it. But the key is to move forward in a direction that you enjoy.
Yes, just keep going. And if it feels good and you're feeling awesome, like, you know, you're on the right path when your heart will lead you. And don't mistake that for, you know, being uncomfortable. And, you know, you need to expand your comfort zone, you know, like that. Those are things to expand your comfort zone, but you'll know it feels good. Like when I was done doing a live and I got all kinds of comments and interactions. That felt good. I knew I was on the right hit. Even when I looked like a bag of poo, I was still getting people responding. And then when I would get all dressed up and pretty and have a message to say and not get as many responses, I was like, oh, I had a good message, but no one was really paying attention. Like, because I built that brand, not realizing I was building a brand, I built that brand people like, know, and trust, and they really that's what they were coming for. They were coming for the choo-choo Hot Mess Express. Like, that's what they wanted. Hey, touching on what you said before, when you said about entertaining and stuff, there's two things that you need to do when you think about putting yourself out there on social media for your audience. You're either educating them or you're entertaining them. So pick one or the other, or try to do both.
Yeah, so if you can do both at the same time, that's even more powerful.
More powerful, but like, you know, educate them or entertain them. And entertain them doesn't always mean like do, doesn't mean always like that. Just like entertain them, meaning people love reality TV. It's way more, people love reality TV way more than TV shows. So if you just be real and let them see you where you're at, you're entertaining people. And it does not have to be about your product or company. It's just you being you, and you have your own reality TV show. You're entertaining them. So that's entertaining or educating, whether it is anything to do with network marketing, your, you know, products, ingredients, whatever. You can educate people on so many things, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. And I think, okay, so share a quick like practical tip, because I know that like you were in Orlando for the event that we both went to, Ray's event, and then you did a quick little recorded video at the water park doing a hair mask, and you know it was a great example of like, hey, like here's me living my life, and like here's a value-based tip of while I'm out doing my thing, you were in your bikini and you know like doing a hair mask. And it's like, hey, here's just a quick little recorded video. Here's something awesome that may help you, right?
Yeah.
It's a great way to be able to blend your business with your real life, because people get that all the time. They're like, oh, I can't talk about my business because I don't want to be a spammy salesy weirdo. And I'm like, no, you're a spammy salesy weirdo when you say, hey, BOGO sale. But if you're just like, hey, here's how to use the thing, and like, hey, I'm doing this and da 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 da, like that's fine. That's awesome. People get really fearful of how to talk about their product.
Yeah. So like what I did for that one in particular, I was like, I did the value and the benefits. So I was at Legoland Water Park and I said, hey guys, here's a little tip on how to protect your hair. You know, blondes especially, you don't want green hair from chlorine, or you don't want your hair to get dried out. Well, here's a little mask, my favorite mask. I'm going to put it in my hair, stick it in a little bun. I'm going to go enjoy swimming. And then when I come out of it and I wash my hair is silkier than ever. And it's better than it was before I went in the water, right? Like a little benefit. I did not say what it was. I did not say anything. I just gave value and benefits to it. And people inboxed me like crazy. I was like, what was that you used? Oh my gosh, great tip. You know, like boom, like that's simple. And you could do that for any company. You could do it for any product that you have. You know, when you provide value and you provide benefits, it's like Ray Hagan always says, sell the thing that sells the thing. Like don't sell the thing. You know, like, you know.
If you know, losing weight gets compliments from your husband, sell that. If your husband can't keep his hands off of you because you've lost 50 pounds, it's like, holy smokes, baby, like we're back to, you know, honeymoon, like promote that, not, hey, I lost 50 pounds. Like my husband can't keep his hands off me. And ladies, how many of us want our husband's hands like all over us all the time, right? Like we love that. So promote that thing.
Yeah. So emotions, if you tap into people's emotions, how things make people feel, what can they get out of it? What are the benefits to them, not to you? You know, like think about that. And that will really help when you're making your posts. So yeah. So I wanted to make sure I touched one last thing on, you know, the vision and plans, like making sure that you have a vision. Like I want to jump back to what we were talking about earlier, because if you don't know what you're working for, you're not going to push through when times get tough, because it will. It goes up and down. It's a roller coaster. And if you don't know what you're working for, if you can't see yourself at that finish line, then there's nothing keeping you in the game. There's nothing holding you and pushing you there. So if you don't know, if someone were to say, what's your goal? What's your vision? And you're like, I don't know, then I can guarantee you're probably not going to get very far. I just can say it. Throwing it out there.
That was me. I was like, my husband asked me like, hey, what are you passionate about? I'm like, And guess what? Every project that I started, I quit 30 days later because I was like, I had no intention with anything I was doing.
Exactly. Be intentional, be purposeful, and be your dang self. Just be okay, because I'm here to tell you that you are wonderfully you. Every single person is unique, and everybody has something different to the table to bring to the table. And there's so many people in this world that there's enough for everybody to have, and everybody's different and they'll attract different people. So if you don't try to be me because I'm already taken. Don't try to be Fallon. Fallon's already taken. You be you because you're wonderfully, beautifully, authentically you, and you will attract who you're meant to attract into your circle. And that's what I want to say.
Exactly. I completely agree. And we have a hard time with that, ladies. But okay, so what got you started on this law of attraction kick? Like, what's a book that you recommend, or like a training or something that people can kind of get their hands on to start getting, like, how do they take your brain and download it into their brain of like, how do I start learning these things? Where did you start?
Well, I definitely, The Secret is a book. If you've never read it, it's the ultimate Bible on the law of attraction.
That was the first book that I read where I started putting my reality into motion, was The Secret also. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to Google manifesting and, believing in all these things, there's all kinds of resources out there. I follow so many. There's one girl I love, Mandy Morris. She's like a manifesting kind of guru on Facebook, and I love the way she teaches and the way she guides. Like I got her watched her webinar, downloaded her stuff, and I love her stuff. Just the way she speaks to me, and I love that. I've always been, it's always been in me. I can't lie. It's not something I decided one day I'm going to do. I've always lived this way. I have always believed in this way of living. And it's just kind of gotten stronger over the years, and through self-development and learning and growing in my business, you know, and not even just the business I'm in now. I've had, you know, I always believed something was coming. I never said, that's the end for me, and, you know, 10 times over. I clearly believed something was going to happen one of these times. I believed it. I knew something was going to happen. And I felt it this time. And I embodied it from the minute I made that decision. I was like, I know it. And then when people would say no to me, or people would doubt me and go, oh, what are you selling now? I was like, that's okay. That's okay. I'll come back to you later because I know you're going to be coming back to me. I know it. I know it. Something special. As things are happening. I know I've got this. I know what I stand for. I truly believed what I was selling, the company I was in, but I believed in myself. I believed I could be the leader I needed to be. I believed I could learn. I didn't tell myself 1 minute that I couldn't do it ever. I never said no to myself, and I never let anyone say no to me.
Yeah, love that. And so you guys, believing that you can. And I have another book that I really love, and I don't know if you've read this one before yet, but it's the Magic in Believing, and it was written in the 40s. So the other thing too is everybody thinks like, oh, this whole secret and like law of attraction is this new age, like woo, floofy stuff. Like the book, The Magic in Believing, was written in the 40s, and the guy that wrote it like went through both world wars. And he has a whole chapter 10 that I love. And he talks specifically about women. He said, if women would realize the power that they have, they would run the world. He wrote this in the 40s. And I'm like, that's amazing. And he talks about all the women in history. So The Magic in Believing, I would highly recommend that one. And skip to chapter 10 because that's my favorite.
I want to share one book with you, and it's on my counter. One sec, I'm going to grab it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys, I'm seeing all your comments like it's awesome. The Magic in Believing, heck yes. Speaking your language, I love it. Anna, she says, fantastic.
So this is I had the pleasure of seeing this person speak live, and I was just in awe the whole time. She's very powerful. I don't know if a lot of people have heard of her, but she's very, very, she might be well known to other people. I don't know, but she coached like, you know, Tony Robbins and some other high level people. And it's about the power of the language that you use and how what you say, you know, about yourself and about others, like you can totally change your life. And so, you know, for example, for me, when I went live in my bathrobe, I could say, I can't go live in my bathrobe. People who will think I'm crazy. Well, then if I didn't do that, then my whole journey probably wouldn't unfold the way it did, because I would never have gone live and shared my message. But this book here, it's called Supreme Influence, and it's by an author. Her name is Nurka. If you guys have never heard of her, look her up. I was sitting halfway back. Her energy knocked me down in my chair halfway through the room. She's tiny little spit of a person. Her energy's humongous. This girl talks all about, you know, like influencing by the word.
And then, so that way they can maybe like screenshot it or something. I'll put it on there. IURKA.
Yeah. I want to see her speak at her own convention. She was speaking at a different event that I was at, so she was just guest speaking. But she has her own events and her own workshops and stuff. And she's on Instagram and everything. The power of language, guys. The power of, I'm telling you, this is like, yeah. I want to meet her one day. If I get to meet her one day, I will like be in tears.
Tony Robbins was my person. Like we went to go see Tony Robbins like a couple weeks ago when he was in Orlando again. I was like, and that's the thing. If you ever have somebody that you admire or something like that, make the time and the commitment to go see them in person somewhere. because for 10 years I've been telling, I want to go see Tony Robbins. I want to go see Tony Robbins. Always just like this thing, like, oh, if it happens, if it falls in my lap, then I'll go. And then finally my husband surprised me and got me tickets because he was 2 hours away from us. And so that was really fantastic. I'm like, what an amazing opportunity that, you know, and that's the thing. You don't know how long these, like the people that you admire, how long they're going to be around, right? Something might happen and then you like miss that opportunity to go see this amazing person that you admired. Like make the commitment to do it, because if you see that person so highly, it will be life-changing for you and it will be that impactful that maybe it'll be that thing that sets you into motion. You just never.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, it was so nice talking to you guys.
Thank you so much for coming on, Amy. I loved it. And you guys, let's chant Amy again, like Amy. If you want Amy back, because we loved it. I loved you on stage. I was like, this is perfect for the Lady Tribe. And I know this will really be able to resonate with a lot of ladies. So thank you so much, hon. And we will see you all very soon. Bye, Lady Tribe.